The City of Jasper hosts a second public meeting on the downtown riverfront master plan. NDOT has unveiled its future plans for a dangerous intersection near South Spencer High School, and Inform featuring Donna Oding with the Du Bois County Health Department. All of that and much more is up next here on 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. In your news, a fire early this morning destroyed a man's car between Jasper and Hayesville as he was heading home from work. Du Bois County Sheriff's deputies say Lauren Harrison of Shoals was northbound on US 231 in his 2000 Mitsubishi Eclipse just after 3:15 a.m. this morning when the gauges and switches in the car began blinking and not working correctly. Harrison, who was headed home following his work shift at Farbest Foods of Huntingburg, told deputies the brakes also began failing as he attempted to stop his car. He called 911 for help after seeing flames coming from under the hood of the vehicle. US 231 was closed for about 45 minutes this morning between Hayesville and Jasper while the fire was being put out. No injuries were reported. The Hayesville Volunteer Fire Department and the Jasper Police Department assisted. Last night, residents of Jasper took advantage of their chance to look at ideas for enhancing Jasper's downtown, including the area around the Patoka River, as ideas were presented at a public meeting put on by city officials at the Cabby O'Neill Gymnasium. Consultants Barry Alberts of Louisville-based City Visions and David Gamble of Boston-based Gamble Associates introduced their ideas and showed some designs that they believe will work for the downtown and riverfront areas. Alberts and Gamble have been researching uses for the area that is encompassed by Veterans Memorial Bridge, Central Green, the Public Library, and the Riverwalk Plaza, and stretching down 3rd Avenue to the Schnitzelbank restaurant. The two have been conducting interviews and collecting information from different groups since January. One of the primary focuses last night by the two consultants was helping the city build off of recent investments such as the city's Riverwalk, the Mill, and the Dave Beeler Plaza. Ideas brought forth included utilizing and rehabbing unused industrial buildings near the recently opened German-American Boulevard and the Jasper Train Depot, namely the former Jasper Cabinet Company building and the structure that once housed a Hoosier Desk. The Jasper Veneer plant, located on far east 6th Street behind Jasper Desk, is also being considered for use. During their research, Alberts and Gamble pointed out the fact that Jasper has over 500,000 square feet of vacant former industrial space located downtown and adjacent to the riverfront. Gamble says he and his colleague most of all like the potential that the Riverwalk has to offer.
What we're establishing is a framework or building from a framework that already exists, and the Riverwalk has been around a while, but it's also, we think, incomplete. And the degree to which you can build off of things you already have, more and more people are looking at these networks of recreation as ways to get around, as opportunities to make connections to other areas. It's a big benefit to the community, and we think it could get even stronger.
Other issues being looked at are providing better connectivity between the square and the riverfront itself, improved roadway connections, more active areas for folks to congregate, sit, and be out in the public, as well as providing more activities that are civic in nature. Just like the initial public meeting held back in April, roughly 150 citizens, along with city officials, showed up last night at the Cabby O'Neill Gymnasium to listen to presentations, ask questions, and offer concerns and suggestions for the project. Meredith Vogel of HLS Health and Wellness was among those on hand. She says she is pleased to see city officials looking to invest in the future.
I was really just impressed mostly with the fact that I live in a town that's so progressive and taking the chances now to make a better future for myself and for my kids and other future generations.
As mentioned earlier, last night was the second of two meetings held this year on the potential project. Jasper Mayor Terry Seitz likes what he has seen so far from the public's response.
Very significant, and again we had all the chairs were filled, had bleachers pulled out, and the enthusiasm, the oohs and ahs, and like, really about that? And then also like, wow, I never thought of that. Oh, that could be a problem. That's what we want to hear. We have concepts. I think as City Visions alluded to, this is public, this is private. this is a lot of investment that could be made. It doesn't have to be done overnight, but it's to plant a seed to measure things against before we actually just kind of pull something out of our pockets and go, okay, let's do this.
In addition to questions and suggestions that were offered verbally last night, those on hand were asked to submit any ideas they may have in writing as well. Alberts and Gamble will now take that input into account as they finalize their recommendations. They will present those recommendations to the Jasper City Council at a future meeting. The Jasper Council is scheduled to meet for their regular monthly meeting this evening. However, recommendations are not expected to be made at tonight's meeting. An investigation into reports of 2 women in Spencer County being drugged led to the arrest of a Kentucky man last week. According to Indiana State Police, this investigation began back on August 10th when the first victim, whose name was withheld, told police that she met 40-year-old Robert Edwards of Cloverport, Kentucky after communicating with him on an online dating site. The victim says Edwards allegedly volunteered to cook dinner. Upon eating the meal, the victim noticed an odd taste and her mouth began to burn as she became drowsy. Then on August 13th, a second unidentified woman met with Edwards after also communicating with him on an online dating site. Again, Edwards volunteered to bring dinner, but this woman declined. Edwards instead brought a drink to the woman, who noted a funny taste in the drink. She began to have a headache, and a short time later, Edwards stole personal items from her before leaving the home. An arrest warrant was issued for Edwards, and Indiana State Police located him in Cloverport. Edwards was arrested and lodged in the Breckinridge County, Kentucky jail, awaiting extradition back to Indiana. He is facing Class D felonies for dispensing a legend drug illegally, criminal recklessness, and theft, as well as a Class C felony for delivering a Schedule IV controlled substance. State police want to remind everyone that although online dating sites have helped people to connect with new friends and mates, those sites also can serve as avenues for those who have bad intentions. State police recommend that you don't go and meet someone in person that you have only met online, but if you must do so, here are some tips to keep in mind. Don't give personal information such as your home address and phone numbers. Meet the person in a public location. Do not invite people to your home. Take a friend with you, and do not leave food or drinks unattended. Earlier this week, officials with the Indiana Department of Transportation announced a short-term and long-term action plan for a Spencer County intersection where a South Spencer High School student was killed earlier this year. The plan comes after a meeting held earlier this summer at South Spencer High School where local leaders and concerned citizens asked INDOT for a review and improvements to be made at the intersection of State Road 66 and Orchard Park Road. 18-year-old Jacob Hamilton was killed at that intersection earlier this year following an accident with a semi at the intersection. Short term, the plan calls for the installation of a temporary traffic signal that will allow for left turns from eastbound State Road 66 onto North Orchard Park Road. Signal heads will be put up on poles that currently exist at the intersection. There will be no new paving done at the intersection, but officials say additional paving markings will be put into place so that lanes can more easily be identified. Designation for right turn only movements from State Road 66 onto Orchard Park Road will be included. Sensors will be put into the pavement to allow traffic to flow freely through the intersection. Officials say work on that part of the plan could begin soon and is set to be completed by next Friday, August 30th, weather permitting. Long term, the plan calls for the installation of a roundabout at the intersection. INDOT officials say that roundabouts have proven to be safe and effective at moving traffic through intersections that tend to have heavy volumes. Intersection design is set to begin soon, according to INDOT officials, and construction will begin in the future. For the latest news and information about INDOT, you can visit in.gov/INDOT. Last night, the Northeast DuBois School Board voted to contract with TRICAP for counseling and social work services for the corporation. Last month, the Northeast DuBois School Board, along with other school boards in DuBois County, were informed by TRICAP that their regular funding for the Teen Wellness Program was gone. Northeast DuBois Superintendent Bill Hoaksong says the corporation was shocked by the loss, and the school board immediately began trying to find ways to keep the program going.
Well, we were devastated to hear that the funding left, and when TRICAP came to us a month ago and said the funding's gone and you know, what can we do? The first thing that happened was our school board said, well, this is just a great thing. We really don't want to lose this, and basically said, what can we do to keep this program going?
Last night's vote means the program will continue for the Northeast DuBois school system and will expand the program to all schools within the corporation. Hoaxsong says the teen wellness program has done wonders for the corporation. He says after attempting to fund it with a state grant, this new contract is the next best option for the district.
You know, we were hoping that maybe we could fund it through a grant that the state provided on school safety. But when you read that grant, you can only pay for staff if they're going to be a school resource officer. And, you know, I think school resource officers can be great, but we felt we needed to think way before that happens. We need to, you know, basically get to the root of the problem, stop the fights before they happen, not necessarily take, you know, we want to be proactive, not reactive.
The money to fund the program will come out of the Capital Projects Fund for the corporation. Also last night, the board approved its yearly pension bond neutrality. This year, the Capital Projects Fund levy and Bus Replacement Fund levy will each be reduced 50% in order to meet tax levy for teacher retirement requirements for the debt service fund under Indiana law. Last year, 75% came out of bus replacement and 25% of the levy came out of the Capital Projects Fund. The board also approved a new policy on fundraising at last night's meeting. All fundraising that occurs in the Northeast DuBois Corporation or for the corporation will now have a fee of 5% charged to help offset utility and facility maintenance costs. That 5% will be applied to the net proceeds of any fundraiser. Finally, last night, the board heard more about the school corporation's safety hotline. The hotline exists for students or parents in the Northeast DuBois Corporation to report negative activity such as violence, weapons, and bullying. If there is a problem, it can be reported by calling 678-2781 extension 411. All callers will be anonymous. In other notes, back-to-school nights will be held at Celestine and DuBois Elementaries in the coming weeks. DuBois Elementary will hold its back-to-school night on August 29th, starting at 5:30 with the serving of hamburgers and hot dogs, followed by parent meetings. Celestine Elementary will hold its back-to-school night on September 11th from 7 till 8 p.m. with a meet and greet for parents. Additionally, the corporation will be holding a town hall meeting next month in order to further develop the direction of the school corporation going forward, building off of a strategic planning meeting that was held last month. That meeting is slated for September 9th at 6:30 p.m. and will take place at the Northeast DuBois Middle School multipurpose room. On Monday, several personnel changes took effect at the Indiana State Police Jasper Post. Among these changes were the movement of Sergeant Chad Dick to the Jasper District as a squad leader. Dick, who had previously served in the ISP's Public Information Office, applied for the job last month and was selected to fill the vacancy. Sergeant Dick will oversee troopers assigned to DuBois and Orange counties in his new job. Dick, who is a native of Newton County, graduated from South Newton High School in 1992 and later attended Vincennes University as well as Indiana State University before joining the Indiana State Police. Dick graduated from the Indiana State Police Academy in December of 1995 and was assigned to the Indiana Toll Road. After serving a year and a half in that job, he was transferred to the Jasper District in 1997, where he primarily served patrolling DuBois County. He was later transferred to the Commercial Vehicle Enforcement Division in 2005 and enforced commercial vehicle regulations along with school bus inspection across the Jasper District. He was later promoted to serve as Public Information Officer for the Jasper District in August of 2007. Chad and his wife Carrie reside in DuBois County. The couple have a 9-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old son. Dick's transfer is the second major move to take place this week at the Indiana State Police Jasper Post. Earlier this week, it was announced that Sergeant Trevor Helmer has been promoted to the rank of First Sergeant and will serve as the Jasper District's investigative commander. Helmer will plan, coordinate, and manage district investigations, which covers 7 counties, including DuBois, Spencer, Crawford, Davies, Martin, Orange, and Perry counties. Coming up after the break, your local forecast, sports with Kurt Guxell, and Inform featuring Donna Oding with the DuBois County Health Department. That's all up next here on 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.